For 40 years, through the golden age of travel budgets, Brian Coxford covered it all. In Canada, the US, Asia, Europe, floods, fires, politics, healthcare, human drama. He was always on the hunt for the great story within the story, and the characters who would bring it alive. Like the guy trying to save his friend's house in the Manitoba floods.
We came upon this one spot and this guy came racing in and started throwing pumps and everything like that into a boat, and immediately I thought, God, there's a story. He became sort of, along with his buddy, the major character in the story, because he just kind of took over. We put a radio mic on him. He gave us this play-by-play. His friend's house was surrounded by sandbags, and the crazy part about it is, and another one of those elements that makes a great story, is he introduced us to his friend, and his name was Dave Flood. And this guy is in the middle of a flood trying to save his house. I mean, I thought, wow.
In the 80s, during the Johnson-Bentley murder investigation in Wells Gray Park, he went door-knocking and met the murderer, but didn't know it.
The very first house we went to was this house, closest to where they were murdered. And I remember this guy in the backyard. He had an axe in his hand, this big hulking guy. And I just had this weird feeling about him as we walked away, and we knocked on various doors and everything like that. And lo and behold, this very same guy who had the axe in his hand was charged with the murders and was convicted and is still in jail. That was a haunting experience.
His relentless pursuit of the story got him arrested during the devastating wildfires of 2003. People were desperate to know if their houses had burnt down, but officials weren't providing any answers. So Coxford breached the barricades to find out.
We went in. We went through a police roadblock. They looked at us and didn't say anything, and we went through. And then a little further, somebody from forestry recognized me in the front seat, phoned the police, and they came and got us and arrested us. I can't tell you how mad we were that day. I mean, we were over the top angry about that whole situation. When you're not giving us any information, you're not telling people that their house had burnt down, they don't know anything, and we're trying to tell people what's going on, and you arrest us for it.
He transformed complex issues into engaging stories. His Euro Health series showed us how some countries dramatically reduce waiting lists with a combination of private and public health care.
The whole issue and the reason for going to do these stories in places of universal health care like us was to show that there are better ways, better techniques to treat patients, to get operations done that prevent waiting lists. And we found in all of those jurisdictions they had an element of public and private health care.
So many great stories. The heartbreak of Terry Fox, the scoop when the Canucks signed Pavel Bure, the Swedish alternative to clear-cut logging, the Olympics in Salt Lake City, Vancouver, and Beijing, the O.J. Simpson verdict, David Foster at the Grammys, the growing saga of garbage, China, the rising dragon, the Clinton Initiative, and on. 40 years of reporting. He learned a couple of simple things about reporting from two key mentors. From his old boss, Webster winner Keith Bradbury, above all, get the story.
He was tough. He'd kick our butts. And I think he taught us, as did Jack Webster teach us, no is not an answer. And people can say, no, I don't want to do an interview, no, no, no. But the challenge is to make them say yes.
And from Jack Webster, simply be a reporter.
You have to go, I think, to every story with an open mind. You may have a preconceived idea, but that's just an idea, and go there and look for a better angle. There's probably a better story there if you look for it.